Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!
Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!
Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!
These ambulances will be driven from the beaches of Normandy to Ukraine to provide that frontline support. They are again a symbol of hope and an action of dedication, and it is our privilege and our honor to help.
We're all here to provide Ukraine with the assistance that's vital. These ambulances save 250 lives a month. And you think about all of the ambulances, the 50 ambulances that we drove all the way from the beaches of Normandy.
From the very bottom of my heart, that I really appreciate all the job that's been done already by your initiative. We as Ukrainians, we are very blessed to have the United States as a reliable partner of Ukraine.
Just know that our hearts are with you, and we are so appreciative of all your support and your energy and passion to help Ukraine. This is a very special time as we look back and many years from now and think about the change that we brought to Ukraine. We can be proud of the work that we've done.
Hi, if you are new to our channel, my name is Amy. I was born in Wales and I'm a teacher.
And I'm Alex. I was born in Ukraine and I am a doctor.
We are full-time travelers and remote workers, but in the middle of our travels,
we learned about an opportunity from Amy's sister, who has a friend that works for a hospital system in New York, and they partner with this organization called Ukraine Focus that helps deliver ambulances to Ukraine. We decided to join this large group of people driving approximately 40 ambulances to Ukraine from Normandy, France.
So these ambulances are retired ambulances bought up from Madrid and a couple from France. Because they were retired ambulances, they were bought relatively cheaply, but each person driving an ambulance had to fundraise to pay for the cost of that. So Alex and I fundraised and had overwhelming support from our friends and family, which was amazing. Then it came time to fly to France and start this trek across Europe.
On pretty much last minute notice, about 2 to 3 weeks before this trip. And we flew from JFK into CDG in Paris. Then we took a train from Paris into Normandy after walking around in the city a little bit. And we were picked up by one of the ambulances, by Oksana and Brock, who are two of the leaders of this group. And we also met up with Basil and Jan, who we got closer with during this trip as well.
After that, we got our first look at the ambulances, which was really cool. They had them parked outside the D-Day experience in Normandy. So we made it to Normandy, and we just got our first glimpse at the ambulances. We made it! We're just hanging out here before we see where we're staying for tonight. And tomorrow we have the D-Day event, but really cool to see all of the ambulances parked up together and ready to go. It's so close. So we arrived the day before the 80th anniversary of D-Day. So this was June 5th that we arrived. The D-Day experience in Normandy let us park all of these ambulances up. After we looked at the ambulances, we found out where we were staying for the night. We were actually rooming with Jan and his wife, Debbie and Mike. Yeah, really fun to room with. So Alex was kind of tired and we drove home and almost immediately fell asleep.
So the next morning we started super early. We had to meet at a central location at about 4 a.m. So we got up a little bit before 3:30, got ready very quickly, and then drove over to this other location.
Good morning. Hopefully you can hear me. What time is that, Alex?
It is 5:20 local time.
It's 5:20 a.m. We woke up at 3:30 a.m. Everyone has gathered in this beautiful French chateau for breakfast this morning.
Oh, we are in France, it's a chateau, yeah.
Yeah, there's like 50 of us and we're all staying in various houses throughout the town, but this one's definitely the nicest. So we all came here this morning for breakfast. They gave us name tags and this is like the best thing that's ever happened to me. They got us messed up. So mine says Dr. Amy Ramsey Wood and his just says Alexander Kowalski. So I'm the doctor. So yeah, this is really cool that we have these tags and that this is the first event and that we're starting. We passed out last night. We got about 4 hours of sleep. We did not sleep on the plane or the train. They were red eyes, but I'm actually feeling quite refreshed.
Yeah, I think our body just can't tell what time it is right now.
Yeah. This is the beautiful chateau that some lucky people got to stay in.
There's stone stairs.
Oh, wow. That is stunning. So we met that early in the morning because the roads closed at like 4:30 a.m. that day. So in an effort to make sure everyone got there together, we had to meet at one of the houses that was the closest walk to the event. So we all got there really early and then kind of like hung around, ate breakfast, got to meet everyone. And then we all got to walk over to the event together at around 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We are walking to the cemetery, which is about 30 minutes from
That beautiful
chateau. It's very cold outside.
But it's a beautiful day.
But it's the most beautiful
Very
walk.
nice sunrise.
The coolest, the cutest little roads. I'm gonna put my phone down because there's officers watching me.
I think that's
Cows. Look at the baby.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's trotting to me, but he's trotting to his mom for sure.
Yeah.
Look. They're so cute.
Grass puppy.
Oh, nice thing about being awake at 6:30. Well, it's not even. It's like 6.
50.
Is that this walk is stunning with the sunrise, and we're all just making our way over.
There's a lot of like memorials and memorabilia that people were putting up, flags. It just seemed like Normandy was showing significant thanks to the United States for what the soldiers did in coming to Normandy to liberate that beach and those towns of France.
So we were in the section right behind the important people. So we got tickets to the event because of what we were doing with the Volunteer Ambulance Corps. And that was really cool, but we were right behind the like politicians, the governors, the cool.
There were even some celebrities there, which we saw later.
Yeah, Tom Hanks was there.
Robert Irvine.
Yeah, Robert Irvine. Yeah, we saw Robert Irvine.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't assigned seating. So in an effort to be in the first row after the important people, we got there at 6:30 a.m. Which,
mind you, the event didn't start until 12:30.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
It's very early.
Yeah, I guess. So we were there 6 hours early, but we did get front row seats, which meant that I had a direct eyesight to everyone that was talking that day, including President Biden, President Macron, all of the veterans that are still alive that actually were there 80 years ago on the beaches of Normandy. So I had a direct eyesight to all of them, which was really cool to see.
By the way, if you have any interest in history or D-Day or Normandy in general, it is a beautiful cemetery. It is very well manicured, very well put together. It's pristine, beautiful setting. It's very sombering too, but it was a very cool experience just to be able to walk around as well and see what they've done with this cemetery and what it means to all the people that obviously lost their lives there, that were able to survive that, and then their family members that have graves to visit and everything. So it's a very amazing and moving experience that I would recommend to anyone.
So I'll just show some clips of the event. I didn't record that much. I was watching because it was really cool to be there. But one of the coolest parts was they brought the veterans out that were there on the beaches 80 years ago. And we clapped, I think, for like a full hour. Like they brought the men and women out one by one, and the entire crowd was just standing the entire time clapping for each person that came out. And then I got a couple clips of President Macron speaking, a couple clips of President Biden speaking, and of the jets. Everyone else out.
Story of our lives.
Sont un des lieux les plus émouvants de France. Les morts et celui des vivants. au nom de la République française, nous vous faisons chevalier de la Légion d'honneur.
Distinguished guests, the 46th President of the United States of America, Joseph R. Biden, Jr.
Joseph R. Biden, Jr.
Nations of Europe through brute force, lies, and twisted ideology of racial superiority. Here, the coast of Normandy, the battle between freedom and tyranny.
After that event, we all were free to go and get ready for the next day. So the next day is when we actually started our journey. We got dinner in town and kind of saw all there were so many old World War II cars.
Vehicles?
Like vehicles, yeah. And people dressed in uniform. And it was cool to see like the entire town kind of celebrating this event. You could just see the whole kind of coast of Normandy celebrating. And it was cool to walk around and get dinner and see that before we started the next day. All right, it is 5:21 a.m. and we've just arrived to pick up our ambulances. They're all here, but they're going to be assigned to us this morning so that we can start the drive. We'll find out if we got an automatic or a manual transmission in about 20 minutes, so that'll be interesting. Hi.
Hello.
We got one ambulance that's already on the fritz. But we'll fix it.
Okay, tail lights here, vehicles like this, so that when we leave, we're going right out.
We have another ambulance on the fritz. So we got some jumper cables, so. I don't know, I forget how much I actually said on the day of, but this is kind of where the hectic, chaotic energy started. So Alex and I fundraised for one ambulance. We had assumed that the two of us would be driving together from Normandy to Ukraine. So when we got there, we were waiting for a vehicle to be assigned, and we weren't sure if the ambulance would be a manual or an automatic. In preparation for it potentially being a manual, my mom had given me 2 lessons prior to me leaving. I had probably spent a total of 10 minutes driving a manual car before this morning. So this was my 3rd time. We knew the likelihood was high because we knew that out of all the ambulances, only 3 of them were automatic transmission. The rest were manual. So there was a chance maybe that we would get the automatic, but chances are we'd probably get the manual. But I was like, it'll be okay. I will learn. Alex will be there for me. It'll be great. Everyone's getting their cars assigned, and we look at the list, and Alex and I are in 2 different vehicles. And I was like, oh no. Turns out they were short on drivers. And so they had given an ambulance to me and an ambulance to Alex. When this happened, I immediately spoke up and was like, Alex can't drive manual. Neither could I, but I just wanted to make it known that like Alex didn't even know like theory behind driving manual. So they were like, oh, okay. And Dustin, the nicest human being you will ever meet, him and Basil, Dustin was driving an automatic and he traded with Alex so that Alex could have the automatic vehicle. I'm really jealous. I'm put in a manual. I go into my car and I will show you the clip of my first moments in that car. I have to figure out how to drive a manual in 5 minutes. The parking brake is on. It's so dewy, I can't see anything. I do not anticipate this going well. Okay. We have the brake. We have the brake. Put my foot on the brake. I'm in neutral. I'm taking the parking brake off. Okay, I have to go into first gear. I have to declutch, go into first, and then slowly come out of clutch while putting my foot on the gas. So foot off the brake and on the gas. Okay, come on. All right, we're going. We didn't stall. That's good. We're going, we're going. I can't believe I started that on my first try. Definitely thought that was gonna stall. Okay. I'm in the correct line or maybe the wrong line. I don't know, but I have started the car. So now in order to stop, I have to declutch, put it in neutral, and stop the car. Okay. All right, now I'm just in a lineup, but I think I'm in the wrong lineup. Brock is gonna tell me to go. Okay. Okay, so declutch, go into first, and I stalled. Okay, that's fine. I just have to put it in. Yeah, I stalled. 1 second. I stalled and I can't get it started.
Come on out.
So it didn't go great, but we had to move the ambulances from where they were parked at the D-Day experience to Utah Beach to have a quick little event before we started driving. What was really nice was once we realized that my car didn't turn back on after it was turned off, or after I stalled it, Dustin yet again traded. He gave me his car that he had already kind of traded with Alex. So thank you, Dustin. And we made our way, and I got that car 30 minutes to Utah Beach, and we parked that up. Actually, Basil parked it up for me. So then we had an event in Utah Beach, and that was cool. We're parked up. We're waiting for all the other ambulances to get parked up. Parking up over 40 ambulances anywhere is a task in and of its own that honestly I didn't even think about. So what just happened? I was in a vehicle that when it stopped, it had to be jumped in order to be restarted. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but these are very old vehicles. The one that we have is, or the one that I have is 459,000 kilometers on it. Because they are old, a lot of them have a lot of issues. So the vehicle I was in didn't restart whenever I stalled it. That was my third time ever driving a manual transmission. Dustin very nicely switched with me. His car does restart when I stall, although it's not happy about restarting at the moment. But hopefully it continues to restart if and when I stall. So they've separated Alex and I. They didn't have enough drivers, so Alex got given a automatic transmission because he cannot drive manual at all. I'm very jealous, but I'm also really sad because we're separated. But it should be, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's okay, but it's scary to do this alone and to learn how to drive manual in one of the most stressful situations you could learn to drive a car in. But I will be okay, and I will figure out how to drive this thing better. Okay.
Now we just have like 400.
Okay, here we go. Hello. Hey!
Who are these gentlemen? Are they with us?
What a privilege to be here with you, but also for you to know that what you're doing is in fact heroic.
I greatly appreciate their help, and I would like to present it to you. Thank you.
So good. Thank you. All right.
Okay, come
We go down.
We start driving. At first, we're in a convoy of like all 40 plus ambulances, but then we very quickly break off into our groups of like 6 to 8. And we were team 1. And somehow I got in the back of the convoy. And what happened is my check engine light came on. So I'm at a gas station. My check engine light came on my ambulance. And then the car, then essentially the gas pedal wouldn't work. Like the car wouldn't go over 60. Then I was trying to go faster and then it slowed to 50. And then I tried to go faster and then it slowed to 40 and then 30. So I didn't want to be stuck on the shoulder of the highway. Well, there was no shoulder actually, but I pulled over into this gas station. I was the last in the convoy, so I'm here alone. They do know that I'm back here and they're turning around. But yeah, I don't know if I caused this issue to the vehicle or if it's just because these are old vehicles. There is a mechanic in the group, but he's not in our team. So I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll figure it out, but yeah, this is just day one. We got it fixed. I didn't record after that. We just got it fixed and we just headed out. In the spirit of switching vehicles, Basil switched cars with me. Actually, Basil didn't want to trade with me because his car is a little iffy. So Trent took Basil's car. Yeah. Basil took my car and I took Trent's car. And Trent's car was great. I think I maybe stalled twice the rest of the day, which before that I had stalled at every toll booth on the highway.
Also, in Amy's defense, everyone that then tried to drive that vehicle, that ambulance that she was driving, commented on how bad or how difficult it was to drive that particular vehicle. The transmission, I guess, was not the best. It was difficult to change gears. It was relatively easy to stall. So it wasn't all Amy.
Yeah.
In that case,
I think Basil said it was the worst car he's driven in a decade. So I felt a little vindicated that it wasn't just me. It was definitely me. It wasn't just all me though. But we made it to Reims without any further hiccups. So I went straight to bed. I think you went to dinner with the guys.
Yeah, we went to dinner. Amy went to bed, but me and the rest of our team, as well as some of the other teams, we found a couple of different restaurants to go to.
So I feel like it's safe to say it here and now. I didn't like talking about it in the moment because it was like so many other more important things were going on. But I have a couple things wrong with me. One of them being I have a heart condition where I have episodes of tachycardia, which just means that my heart rate will spike randomly. I can be just sitting and chilling and it just spikes. It also happens when I'm stressed. And so one of the reasons I was so tired was that I'm pretty sure I just had like an 8-hour-long SVT attack. Like my heart rate just did not come down the whole day. Like just a really stressful situation to be in a convoy, not want to fall behind, not want to slow the group down. My car had broken down.
Foreign country.
I also have really bad wrists.
Mix of a little carpal tunnel, a little bit of tendonitis.
The gear shift was so sticky, especially fifth gear. And I was going between fourth and fifth and fifth and sixth so often that it was like pushing that thing. And like my wrists were done. Like it was so bad. They got so weak that I couldn't like take the handbrake off anymore. Like I needed both hands to take the handbrake off, which meant that I couldn't do hill starts because like I needed both hands to like press that button because my wrists and hands were so weak. And then I also have a really bad back and a really bad neck. So driving for a long time in general is really hard. I don't say this all to complain because in the moment I was like, just do it. Like just figure it out and like, it'll be fine. And I just kept telling myself, like, you will make it to Reims. You will make it to Reims. And I did, but it was just at the end of the day, like I felt like I had been beat up. Like, and it's such a tiny thing. Like, you know, when you think about what's going on in Ukraine and you think about the event that we just left for World War II, it's like these men and women who dealt with so much worse. But in that moment, it was like, I don't know if I can physically do this. Like I wasn't anticipating to be alone. I wasn't anticipating to like have these like physical limitations kind of hold me back in a way. But we made it to Reims and I got a great night's sleep. Alex went to dinner. I had sleep for dinner and we moved on to day 3.
The mechanic is staying at the hotel. What about it?
We had the slightly later start, and we also had the benefit of a few extra people joined our larger convoy. And so we had...
And we lost some cars.
We did lose a couple cars because these are old ambulances. So we had to leave a couple ambulances behind that eventually were retrieved. Because of that, and also we gained some drivers, thankfully, they gave Amy a break and they allowed her to hop in my automatic ambulance that we then continued the journey with.
A dream. A dream. I will never, ever, ever take an automatic vehicle for granted ever again. But yeah, sitting in the passenger seat of an automatic vehicle was just so nice. I did work the entire day just in the passenger seat. I edited some videos, and it was also nice that, like, in case anyone in our team needed a physical break or wanted a passenger, because all of us were alone the first day, which can be hard, just like driving alone. Also, the radios didn't work, the air conditioning didn't work, and the chargers didn't work in any of the cars. Well, not in my car, and I don't think in Demo's car either. Demo was also on our team. So we couldn't play music on our phones because we didn't want our phones to die, and there was no way to charge it, and the cigarette lighters were broken. Yeah, so it was just complete silence by yourself. So it was nice in case someone needed a break, I could drive for them. Yeah, so day 3, the morning started off a little rough just because we had some cars that had broken down overnight. Luckily, we had, I think I said in a video in the moment, but luckily we had a mechanic on our team that traveled with us to Munich, which was our next stop. So this night we were going to Munich, and so we had him up until that night. Moving after that, we no longer had a mechanic, but we did have him up front, which was really nice. So he helped us get those cars started that next morning. We are stopping for gas. I don't know if you can see the lineup of Team 1 vehicles behind us. I'm wearing my shirt. Alex is not.
Got my hat though.
I don't know if they showed our swag yet. Makes me feel very official. Oh, gotta get out of the road. We're gonna go inside and get brunch, breakfast, lunch, something like that. We are all filled up and ready to go. So after this, there's Dima. After this, we should be able to drive for a couple hours straight and cover some good ground. We are still in France, but we are crossing the border. Yeah, we're crossing the border into Germany soon. So. But not really much to report on day 3. We drove from Reims to Munich, Germany, and then we had a dinner with everybody.
Yeah, so that was at the Hofbrauhaus, which, if you don't know the history of the Hofbrauhaus, I recommend looking it up. It's in Munich. It's very interesting. Learn about, thank you, Trent, for that educational lesson as we were eating the food there.
Trent knows everything. So we got really close with Trent on this trip, and he is just full of really fun facts. That night, we stayed in...
It was a German military base in Munich that they also had a dormitory in, as well as a medical facility. We slept in the dormitories that they have. We had someone as part of the larger convoy who is German, and he had some connections, and he was able to secure us these free rooms thanks to the German government, who also were appreciative and wanted to help on our journey.
It was Christian, right?
Yes, Christian.
Yeah.
It was Christian Katner. Yes.
Christian, yeah. He got us those rooms for free, which was really cool. And my first time on a military base.
Good morning. We're staying on a military base, so they gave us kind of like a dorm to stay in. I think it's in like the medical wing. I'm not sure. But it was a twin bed. I don't know if I can show you. That's my hand. The size. I think it's actually a little bit smaller than a twin because the mattress pad is a twin and it's like folding over the sides. They gave us one pillow and Alex stole it. So then for my pillow, I used the extra set of sheets and then a towel to make it like less stiff. So it was a little like cushiony. So that was the pillow I used. And it was an interesting night. But we made it. I was able to take a shower this morning. That felt great. I would show you the showers, but I'm really not sure how much of the military base I'm allowed to record. And I'd rather be safe than cause an issue. So today we are driving through Austria into Slovakia and staying in another military base there.
I don't actually know where yet, but I will follow the leader of the convoy and we will get there eventually. All right, I'm gonna finish packing and head down to the ambulances.
Unsurprisingly, this video got too long, so we've split it into 2 parts. Join us next week for part 2, where we make our way through Germany and Austria while separated from the convoy, into the barracks of a Slovakian military base, and where Amy crosses into Ukraine with 3 members of the group while Alex and everyone else get stuck in Slovakia. It would mean the absolute world to us if you could subscribe, and that way you'll also get a notification once we post part 2. Thanks for being here, and we hope to see you next week.